Hello, fear seekers. Welcome to Terrifying Tales, your YouTube channel for chilling stories. We uncover true horror tales that will chill your spine. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more. Let's delve into the shadows. Prepare yourself for the dreadful beginning of our first story. Imagine the horror of death. Now imagine it threefold. We're about to journey into the shadows, where three true stories of murder lurk, each more bone-chilling than the last. The details are scarce, but the dread is abundant. Buckle up as we delve into the first story. Our opening tale takes us to an evening that started off as mundane as any, until it mutated into sheer terror. It was a night where the moon leered down from a pitch-black, eerie sky, its cold light casting monstrous shadows through the barren limbs of the winter trees, as if they were reaching out to grab you. The silence was not the soothing lullaby of peace, but a chilling quiet that mirrored the relentless ticking of the wall clock. Each tick, persistent and unforgiving, echoed ominously through the confines of the unsuspecting household. The house, a veneer of suburban normalcy, stood ominously in the desolate lane. Its glowing windows harboured a deceptive warmth, starkly contrasted against the oppressive darkness of the night. Inside, the oblivious family was cocooned in their routines, ignorant of the ticking time bomb of terror about to detonate. The father engrossed in his book, the mother absent-mindedly humming to herself, and the children blissfully ignorant, lost in their playful fantasies. As the clock hands crept eerily towards midnight, the deafening silence outside was shattered by a menacing rustle, a sound that forebode the shattering of their peaceful night. It was a barely audible sound, but it was enough to send a wave of dread through the oppressive stillness of the night. A terror was about to befall, turning the routine night into a bone-chilling nightmare. Life can shift in a heartbeat, yet we foolishly live under the false safety of invulnerability. Lives were not fading slowly with the disease of time, but ended abruptly in a horrific instant. The suddenness of it left a chilling void, a cold absence where a heartbeat should have been. The night had taken a malevolent turn, casting a sinister shadow over the silent home. In the aftermath, each emerging clue was more terrifying than the last. Like pieces of a macabre jigsaw, they crafted a horrifying tableau. A discarded glove, a trail of footprints, of a desperate struggle, each whispered gruesome tales of the unspeakable incident. The fragments were assembling, yet the complete picture was still agonizingly out of reach. Amidst despair, a spark of hope can be a powerful lifeline. But this story was not about hope or redemption. It was about dread and loss. It was a testament to life's fragility and the arbitrariness of fate. The most terrifying, it seemed, was yet to come, and when it seemed things couldn't possibly get any worse, they did. The unearthing of the final clue, the brutal reality of the life snuffed out, the pure terror of the night. It all came crashing down. The usual night had contorted into something unspeakably horrifying, something that would forever scar the memories of those who survived it. The relentless ticking clock, the spine-chilling clues, the extinguished life, all culminated into a nightmarish finale, a grim reminder of the thin line that separates the mundane from the terrifying, the safe from the perilous, the living from the dead. The second tale of terror unfolds on a seemingly serene afternoon. A somnolent sun caresses the landscape, its warm kiss igniting the vibrant green of the surrounding foliage. The azure sky, a vast canvas, is brushed with wisps of white, as if painted by an artist in a state of divine inspiration. Amorphous clouds form playful shapes, a theatre of silhouettes drifting lazily across the sky, engaging in a slow dance of creation and dissolution. The atmosphere is permeated with the gentle hum of life, the air filled with the harmonious buzz of insects, the rhythmic whisper of the wind, and the soft cooing of distant birds. In the background, the gentle murmur of a babbling brook completes the symphony, a soothing lullaby born from the earth itself. Amid this quietude, a chilling wind blows unexpectedly, an icy intruder disturbing the peace. It cuts through the warmth like a sharp blade through silk, an ominous herald of the unforeseen terror about to break the idyllic stage. The previous symphony of life gives way to an eerie silence, the natural chorus hushed by the chilling gust. as if nature itself is holding its breath. Suddenly, a ghastly deed manifests, an act so vile it sends shockwaves through the tranquility. It is sudden, silent and swift, like a predator pouncing on its unsuspecting. The deed, so abhorrent yet unutterable, leaves a life extinguished, ripping the peaceful fabric of the scene. The vibrant landscape seems to lose some of its colour, the sky its cheer, the world a little less alive. The echo of the unspeakable act hangs heavy in the air, an oppressive weight that seems to squeeze the joy out of the world. The deed, though silent, reverberates through the landscape, a shockwave of terror that transforms the serene setting into a tableau of dread. Nature itself seems to recoil, the vibrant greenery, the birdsong silenced in response to the malevolent deed. The once tranquil atmosphere is replaced by an all-encompassing fear. Every breath taken tastes of fear. Every beat of the heart echoes with terror. The landscape has been transformed, the once vibrant world now a grayscale canvas, robbed of its life and vivacity. The act, so vile and terrible, has left a permanent mark, a stain that cannot be washed away. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting long, ominous shadows that seem to dance with the lurking terrors, the true horror has just begun. The echo of the unspeakable act lingers, and the horror had just begun. The concluding tale is the most petrifying of them all, an account so compelling and desolate that it diminishes all that went before it. A chronicle steeped in heart-shattering terror, where every incessant tick of the clock was a dance macabre with the omnipresent spectre of death itself. It was a dance devoid of melody, bereft of rhythm, marked only by the haunting dirge of despair and desperation. Each tick of the clock was a chilling toll, signalling an approaching moment laden with unbearable dread, a moment teetering precariously on the precipice of a grim abyss of horror. This petrifying tapestry of terror was woven with strands of fear that grew thicker and more potent as the story unfolded, their collective weight dragging down the hearts of those ensnared within this morbid narrative. As the story slowly began to disentangle itself, secrets hidden deep within its fabric began to leak out, seeping from the hidden recesses and flooding into the listener's consciousness. These secrets, dark and incomprehensible, began to shroud the room, making the air dense. Each breath drawn was akin to inhaling a suffocating blanket of dread, heavily laden with foreboding and tainted with the repulsive stench of terror. Hearts pounded within chests like frenzied drumbeats. Pulses raced like panicked stallions, each beat echoing the dread that held the room in its cold iron grip. The suspense was tangible, a physical entity that permeated the room, its icy tendrils wrapping around each individual present. It clung onto them like a phantom, a wraith unseen yet acutely felt, its presence forever etched into their terrified souls. The room was silent save for the occasional gasps of horror that slipped from the lips of the listeners, their bodies shivering, their faces ashen as the narrative continued to unleash its horrors. Their terror was a symphony in a minor key, each note striking a chord of terror that resonated within the room, shaking them to their very core. Stories of bloodshed, of grotesque deaths and unspeakable atrocities filled the room. The tension was akin to a tightly drawn bowstring, threatening to snap at the slightest vibration, the suspense a ticking time bomb with a countdown unknown, and without warning, a bone-chilling wave of horror washed over them, the climax of the tale hitting them like a violent storm. It was a deathly chill that rose, its icy waters engulfing their bodies, submerging them into a sea of terror, a tsunami of horror, its monstrous waves crashing over them, pulling them into the abyss of terror. The finality of the horror was overwhelming, its intensity leaving them gasping for breath, their bodies convulsing, their spinning from the onslaught of terror. The tale ended, leaving them transfixed in a state of shock and disbelief. The bone-chilling wave of horror still lingering, its icy fingers still caressing their terrified souls, its echoes still resonating in the deafening silence of the room. And then, as if to punctuate the end, another chilling wave of horror washed over them, freezing them in place, their eyes wide with the vividness of the terrifying tale. The horrific imagery continued to play out in their mind, imprinting itself onto their consciousness, ensuring that the terror would linger long after the story had ended. The room remained cloaked in silence, the palpable dread refusing to dissipate, the echoes of the horror story continuing to reverberate in the haunting silence. 3 tales of terror, all too real and all too horrifying. A chilling echo of humanity's dark side, each woven with threads of dread, suspense, and an eerie sense of reality. The first, a crimson nightmare, the second, a spine-chilling slaughter, and the final, a macabre nightmare that still sends shivers down the spine. These stories serve as a grim reminder of our world's horrifying truths. Remember, reality can sometimes be scarier than fiction. Sleep tight. We hope you've enjoyed or perhaps been thoroughly terrified by these grim tales from the shadows. If you've dared to stay with us until now and crave more spine-chilling stories, we urge you to subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Your support fuels our ability to unearth more horrifying truths and bring them to light. Until then, stay scared, stay vigilant, and we'll see you in the next video.